Hey, welcome. My name is Daniel. This is Metal Sharpens Metal, where we analyze the lyrics, making worldly zoom metal. Ugh. That kind of worked. That was. We're done. We're done with that. Hey, welcome. My name is Daniel, and this is Metal Sharpens Metal, the place where I analyze heavy music from a Christian worldview. And today we are revisiting some of the heaviest music that this channel has featured. Lorna Shore. We're going to go through all of Pain Remains this time, parts 1, 2, and 3, the whole shebang. First time I did, I looked at this band on this channel. I just went through Pain Remains part 1, but it's a 3-part EP. So a lot of people in the comments were like, hey, please look at the rest of this and tell us what you think. So here I am doing just that. There's a lot to talk about. I'm very excited. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's go check it out. So I found this nice video that stitches all 3 music videos together. So that's going to be nice. And I'm thinking this must be a, most of this music video must be a flashback for him. I'm thinking this scene means that he is already coming to these thoughts of kind of the pointlessness in his world. Yeah, man, this lead line still just gives me chills. I can't play any more parts after that. Just the big hits. No. Stupid. It's stupid. And then melody kind of gets turned on its head. And I think they did a great job of making this be the triumphant sound to reflect the only happy moments that the character had. Gosh, what is the term for that really driving riff with all those little like staccato moments? Oh my gosh, those really do it for me. That moment from like the deepest growl to the highest banshee shriek. Little whammy bar. Love to see it. A little flutter. And here comes the symphony with the feels. Even the blasting and the double bass have slowed down into sextuplets, and I think that goes really well with like kind of the, like we're going away from that ecstasy into more serious territory. No, this isn't actually a Christmas song, despite all the snow. I think the snow, though, is a good indication of kind of what's happening. The world is falling apart a little bit. That riff. That, I think that's an important part that's familiar. I just wish I was smarter to recognize some of these references. And that was a crazy vocal effect with the high and the low going at the same time. The world you left was only just a dream. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. Just a nice little bop to tap your foot to. It's only 280 beats per minute. What's the big deal? So much repetition on the disappear parts. It's kind of a small word, but it's like he can disappear as easily as he made everything else appear. It's the sense I'm getting. This might be my favorite solo. That's actually hard. Of these three songs. Okay, it's getting real dark. It's getting real serious. Oh, I know, I wasn't expecting a key change at first. Yeah, it really ups the kind of severity of everything. Yeah, pretty dark on the music video front. I get why they did it, but wow. All right, the last one, In a Sea of Fire. Their music video, their live show was so heavy that he couldn't handle it. Or could he? I wonder how much time he spent in this world, or if it just is like one night's dream and it just feels like an eternity almost. That's right. Our boy's still here. Man, get up. The speed that this riff changes, it sounds like fire burning. Like it's like as chaotic as fire burning. Yeah, with that lead line, the chorus is really just tied together, but it's getting darker. if you know the lore already, or the like meaning of the EP, I wonder if all these people are people that he created, comforting their god at his own wife's funeral. A little convoluted. I almost never get used to it. Every time I hear a new solo, I'm like, this one's my favorite of the EP. I don't know. They're all good, okay? Just get off my back. For sake. And then it's fitting for the last song that it's the heaviest of the three, too. Oh, you thought this was the heavy part? You sweet summer child. He's disgusted with his own talents. That's the problem. Wow. I mean, I love that whatever effect they chose for those synths, those notes sound like they could have been a never-ending story, you know? So it sounds like it's based on a story, on a dream, something that's not fully real. It's just a great attention to detail. I love that. Yeah, so that was Pain Remains, the whole thing. Super epic 20-minute piece of music, and yeah, glad we got to go through that. I had checked out those making of Pain Remains videos that they put out. They put out 3 of them, and it seems like these guys were just run ragged through, the recording deadlines, tour slogs, equipment mishaps, all kinds of things going wrong. It's honestly an achievement that these guys are even still a band. But yeah, I guess it's just a meat grinder of an industry sometimes. So props to them for putting out these awesome songs in spite of all of that. And for me, there's 2 huge components that determine whether I enjoy a song or not. The first component is the music itself. The way that they did the lead lines in this song that tied into the different songs.
This is really good.
There was a lot of cohesion in these songs, in the music, and so I love that. The first song, for example, has the intro lead line that sounds like that. And then the second song has the faster lead line that sounds kind of really similar to me. And I think making a faster version of it just ups the anxiety and the tension that's going on in the character's mind. That ties into the second component that I really like about music, or that I use to determine if I like music, which is the lyrics. And when the lyrics can tie into the music, that just...
My heart soars with the eagle's nest.
Now, I'm not just going to say that anytime they do that, I'm like, this is amazing, right? The worldview matters to me, and I want to analyze how they do that. But again, in the first song of this, one of the last times that the character felt hopeful was when he was with the woman of his dreams. And they had that kind of hopeful choral sounding, chorus, where the lead line was like a more triumphant version of the melody. And so the last time that the main character kind of had any hope was the last time that you heard a kind of positive sounding vibe to the music, I think. Because in songs 2 and 3, those melodies just got really like forlorn and funereal kind of sounding, which again, I think fits the content that was going on during that time, because he was like, losing his mind and realizing that he didn't want to be anywhere. So I really liked that all of that worked so well together with the music. In the first Lorna Shore video, I had mentioned that I thought Will was maybe one of 50 people in the world that could do vocals like this. But I am officially willing to bring that down to 1 out of 25 now, because yeah, he can sing too. It's just bonkers. And since diving into these guys again, I just realized that the vocalist makes such a huge difference on the direction of a band. It may seem obvious to you, but the words that they choose for their lyrics are going to be tied to the band forever, right? So the same band, Lorna Shore, getting a different vocalist was the only way that I considered listening to them multiple times, willingly even, for enjoyment even. And to be fair, it's not like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, like looking at each new song being like, oh, what's the worldview in this one? I got to check if I can listen to this band. I just wasn't that interested until they got a guy like Will. So the band started with kind of a lot more gratuitous Satan-y type stuff at the beginning. And they decided that, we don't need God for our origins, all that type of stuff. The second vocalist was plagued with some kind of sketchy accusations from the lady folk in his life. I'm not saying I believe all of them automatically or anything like that. I'm not going to wade into those waters right now. But, for somebody to choose to get premaritally involved with these crazy people is just in a different headspace from me, right? Yeah, see my latest Sleep Token video if you didn't like that opinion, but you want to subject yourself to more of it. But Will is just a golden breath of fresh retriever. Instead of writing lyrics about, romantic dates on Satan's boardwalk, he is just much more relatable. There's a lot of real darkness in his lyrics for sure, but at least the worldview isn't just like reheated Baal worship with a thin layer of Halloween on top, So the 3 songs that we just listened to are the last 3 songs on a larger album that all had kind of a unified concept behind it. So let's zoom out to the full album view before we zoom back into these 3 songs. The album starts with a guy entering a lucid dream, realizing he's got control of his surroundings, and he becomes basically a god in his dream world. He's manifesting his reality. He's even creating other humans, I saw at one point. After a while, the main character of our story gets really bummed out and enraged by the meaninglessness of it all. That's a hard word to say sometimes. And he burns everything down. And this is a feeling that I can resonate with. A while back, I was playing Lego Fortnite with some friends. Don't judge me. Actually, you know what? Just you can judge me. I deserve it, I think. But anyway, it was a super fun game at first. We were gathering like building materials. There were objectives on the screen that were like, hey, build this little building next, and then it can make more advanced materials. You can build more advanced buildings, blah, blah, blah. And eventually we just kind of got sick of it. We were just like, okay, what are we actually working towards? Did we really care if we never got that special rock from the cave in order to make the more advanced brick, to make the more advanced home?
I'm boring myself just talking about this.
So I imagine this guy's dream was kind of like that. Super fun and addicting at first, and then by the end, it's just a big blob of meh. And even more so than that, I mean, this guy's passions were being stirred up. Like he had love in the dream, but then that wasn't real. He had creation, but that wasn't real. So it's more like having everything and then realizing that it means nothing. So after the lucid dream buildup in the first part of the album, we've got the Pain Remains trilogy. And I think the trilogy by itself is like a really good microcosm of the meaning of the whole album. So he starts by being infatuated with this woman in the dream, but then he gets mad that she's no more real than Plankton's computer wife from SpongeBob.
That's my wife you're talking about, man!
So he finally burns down the whole world around him, and that's represented by the house burning, obviously. And we're just left there. We don't know if he wakes back up, if he goes back to the real world and kind of like keeps moving on with his life, or what happens. But his dream world is done. He's over it. So on the surface, we have that concept of escapism. There's a whole movement that tries to leave our reality behind with drugs and remote viewing and astral projection and things like that. Well, not like that one though. Like crazier stuff with demons that steal your blood and make you fall in love with death and things like that. But I want to set that aside for now because I want to address the deeper reason for wanting to leave this world. Like why did this character want that escape? Will, when he was writing these lyrics, didn't allow the escapism that the character went through to solve all his problems, right? Like he didn't go into this world, become instantly happy in his utopia of his own making. Painful reality still catches up to him in the end. So he's granted this whole world, and then he's just presented with, now what? It's like the deeper issue here is that you've got all this omnipotence at your fingertips, but it's really just a wrapper that underneath only has a hollow existence. Because the main character at one point says, letting go of perfection, another lie. This wretched melody is everything you left to die. I'm just a vacuum, just a fragment, an echo in time. So you get lots of sense of like nihilism, despair, nothing will matter in the long run. And the line about perfection being a lie is very interesting because even with the character basically being a god, he still can't achieve perfection to satisfy his own mind, right? And I think this is a really wise observation that most people wouldn't realize. Even if you had all the power of God, would you be able to make the world a better place with all of that power? I think that our imperfect hearts would ultimately get in the way. And I think it takes real maturity to admit that we are not capable of handling that amount of power. Another reminder of the nihilism is spelled out in the line, even inside a dream, this world has no meaning. Now, I'll grant that he's talking about the dream world being pointless, but he says even inside a dream, meaning that though the real world is obviously meaningless to him, even in this dream world, he cannot find any joy, and he's being let down. So the character has no solace in either existence. Towards the end of the album, he says, witness the death of God, hear the devil's choir as I leave the stage. I think this is really smartly written, like just a really good kind of pithy way of saying it. I don't think he's talking about the death of the real God, but rather his own death as the God of his dream world. And mentioning, the devil's choir is singing as you leave the stage is just a really brilliant way of saying that you lost the battle. And Will just leaves us with this question hanging unanswered. After all that realization, did the main character move on with his life in the real world? It's kind of like, yeah, real life sucks compared to dreams. Oh, that was your whole point? You're done? Yep. Really thought there'd be like a moral to that story or something. Nah. Whatever. I don't know. I'm getting kind of sleepy now. Dang, okay. Wait, no. So I think Will is doing a great job in this story of showing us examples of ways we can build out all these methods to find happiness in our lives. The wife was attempt number one at finding fulfillment. Another layer was the escapism in going to his dream world and being a god who can touch the sun and create and all that type of stuff. But at the end, the character is forced to strip away all those layers, all those distractions, and expose the purposeless core beneath it all. So what I really like about these songs is that they are pointing out the unavoidable root of the problem, which is much deeper than most entertainment goes these days. But the main thing they're missing is the answer to that problem, any kind of solution or hope. We're just kind of left to fend for ourselves like the kid in a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. And I think the real tragedy of this story is that the main character never gets to say, I'm living the dream, when he's at his job anymore. Like what's the point when he knows it's all a lie? Even if we aren't left with the most encouraging of meanings ever, I do find the songs to be really well done. Like I said, the music and the lyrics tie together perfectly, basically. And yeah, through all of that, when you are peeling back those layers and asking the question, what's at the center? For me, it reminds me of the peace that I have with Christ, the hope I have in him, which is the only hope that could take my focus off of all that despair and meaninglessness that is being presented as like the final thing that this character is left with. Yeah, I just love that this trilogy is mature enough to admit that even when you have everything that you want, it can still lead back to nihilism in the end. And I think if we're honest with our lives, and if we remove those safety nets and those distractions that prevent us from addressing the core things of reality, then I think you'll be faced with the same question. You know, these are like head on the pillow at night by yourself type questions. And if you haven't considered your place in the universe in relation to the Lord, then today is the day for that. And that's not only because we can have a deep joy in this life that can combat the nihilism, but it's also because we can be reconciled to our Creator before having to enter the forever sleep. And that's a really important thing, because the Bible says that it is appointed for man to die once, and then comes judgment. We're going to meet Jesus on that day, and if we are clothed in his righteousness, then we won't have anything to fear in life or death or dreams or demons or, yeah, you get it. So thanks, Lorna Shore, for writing these songs, for raising these very important topics. And thank you, whoever's watching, for checking out this video and sticking with me till the end. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Gosh. Hey, welcome, my name's Daniel. This is Metal Sharpest Metal. Okay. Hey, welcome, my name's Daniel. This is Metal Sharpest Metal, where we analyze the lyrics, making well, you metal. I can't. Gosh dang it. Hey, welcome, my name is Daniel. This is Metal Sharpens Metal, where we analyze the lyric, how do you say that fast? What I really,